Hi, Taurus. Healing Grasshopper here to do your second week in June, the 8th to the 14th reading. And I just noticed that I forgot to light my gratitude candle. Gratitude. Okay, let's see what we got. We'll see if that's Jeez, we'll see if that's reversed in a moment. These cards, yes. Page of Cups next. The card under it, no. So reversed, no. Is the Ten of Cups reversed? No. Is this ours? No. King of Swords reversed? I mean, yeah. King of Swords, is that for us? Cards under it? Reversed? No. Okay. So we got King of Swords, and we've got Six of Swords. Okay. So you've got good things coming to you or things that you're experiencing right now. Yes. So for most of you, this is relationships. For some of you too, this could be, the final signing of divorce papers for some of you. Oftentimes we look at this as like the togetherness, family, and uh, romantic relationships, which it absolutely is for most of you. But some of you, it can be um, freedom to pursue this for yourself, right? Then you have the page, and the reason why I say that because the Page of Cups is next to it, where you're dreaming. It's like you're aspiring to this, and this is like happiness to and the freedom to pursue this, and you're really looking forward to that. And then you have the King of Swords here, who is about discernment too, which also contributes to the whole divorce thing that I was saying. Again, not all of you. Some of you, it can be like engagements, taking your relationships to the next level, that kind of thing. So, right. Here's another one that contributes to the divorce here, right? Because you have a moving away from pain. And then for others of you, it can be a, a final departure from that pain and a renewal of your faith in love. The Hermit card. Ooh, this is this is our focus. Wow. I just realized I haven't seen the Hermit card this year. I don't think at all. I haven't seen much Hermit. I've We've seen a whole lot of like introspective energy and that kind of thing, but not real Hermit. I'm actually glad to see this because what this is saying is that this is emotional fulfillment that's coming from a productive time of solitude. And in getting oneself together first before you start pursuing relationships, which is always a healthy thing to do. So this is a departure from pain, but not towards, not into anyone's arms. This is you know, taking care of yourself, which produced um, a new perspective on life. Very, very good, Taurus. Like, I just had um, a vision of like hoarding, right? Which is, that has nothing to do with you, but what it means is the King of Swords has cut out so many things in his life and, rearranged things or organized things that the removal of all of the things that didn't serve him in his life produced a new perspective on things. It's kind of like, cleaning out a hoarder house and then looking around like, oh wow, I didn't realize this house was so big. That kind of thing where, you know, you're left to really assess things and you're marveling at how what's left of the things in your life are blessing and are useful. We'll see if that's reversed in a moment, but let's have at least two other cards. Spirit. There's one, and we'll take one more, please. Hmm, okay. Reversed? No. This is our next card like this, right? Reversed? No. Five of Cups, reversed. Okay, so Nine of Cups. Wow. Nine of Cups under the Six of Swords with the Ten of Cups above it. This is a full completion. This is a turnover, a successful transition from something painful to something joyous is the word that comes to mind. You know, you are in a better place and you're looking back to your pain like, wow, I've really accomplished something. I'm so happy. You're grateful here. Ace of Swords here is, and you have Page of Cups on top of the Hermit. This is what you've been doing as you've been in hermit mode. You've been dreaming and planning, and you've been thinking and organizing things in your life and your mind. Like, okay, I think I'm like you're choosing things like I'm going to do this. I want to do this. Oh, that's a good idea. I think I'm going to do this, you know, and it's starting to produce great things. But here we are at Five of Cups at the end, which talks about how there's still some work to do and it's right under the hanged man. Such a great message where there's still work to do in your perception. Because over here, I was talking about the hoarder house, right? And how you are starting to see things differently. But the King of Swords here and his cutting out things that don't serve him and that kind of thing still has some work to do in your life. That you need to stay in this role and you have successfully removed people from your life who don't serve you, or who are toxic and that kind of thing. But excuse me, the hiccups. I don't know if you even heard that hiccup with the noise cancellation in my camera, but Anyway, see, there is a a non-productive, an unhealthy perspective here in Five of Cups, which tells me that you still have work to do in drawing your focus away from your losses. Okay? Because we know that there are losses that you've moved away from. That Seven of Swords Six of Swords is telling us about here. Just be aware that you need to work on changing what you think about. And the reason why I'm being so careful in my words is that I know that in my reading, in my years of reading, that I can be very matter of fact about the things that I'm talking about or reading. And then I go along, well, I used to anyway. I try not to anymore, like a freight train in expressing things to the querent. And sometimes I'll forget that the person's still in pain. Like I feel it, but it's like it's on the table with the rest of everything else. And it's kind of hard to explain. Anyway, um, excuse me. Um, what I'm trying to say is I don't, I spirit wants me to address the facts that you are still in that process of mourning over the pain that you've been in, and that in your own time, which is what I'm trying to say. I'm not trying to say like, get over it, Taurus, just move on and stop your stinking thinking. But spirit is still at the same time drawing your energy, your focus to it. Like, are some of the things that you think about really all that healthy? Maybe you should really assess that and, yes, acknowledge your feelings, but don't beat yourself up about what could have been said, what they did to you, that kind of thing. After you draw the lesson from the situation, it's time to move on, right? You can't like wallow and toil over the negative aspects of it because it kind of mm, it kind of has you spinning your wheels in unpleasant thoughts when you could be focusing on things like the Page of Cups, what you want to do next, and the Ten of Cups, like emotional fulfillment, Nine of Cups, emotional fulfillment, and wishes granted. Okay? That it's not necessary to stay here because just let's go where we want to be. Well, that was a real jumper there. High Priestess. Yeah, this is checking in with spirit, which is what you're doing, right? Look at the devil at the bottom of the deck. I don't think that's really ours, but that's also not entirely a mistake when I see things like that. But anyway, this is what you're doing, right? Obviously, you are at least in some way in tune because you're watching this reading. This is all about spirituality and connecting with spirit. But on your own, too, in your daily practice, there needs to be a dialogue with spirit. And, for those of you who don't have a routine, uh, you know, of talking to spirit, you should really start because you'd really, really be surprised at how spirit does talk back to you. And not literally, but in synchronicities, in ideas that come out of nowhere, in phone calls that, you know, I have a billion stories about this where, I'll be in anguish and like, I'll be like, how long do I have to go through this? Is painful, whatever. And then, like, the same day or the next day, I'll get a call, like, addressing it. It's like, oh my God, somebody answers my question. Do it. You'll see. Okay. But anyway, I say all that to say that this is the answer to this. That instead of focusing on your pain, focus on your higher self and your spirit guide and where it wants to take you. And it's a group effort too, where you want to go as well. Reversed? It is reversed. Okay. Again, we have a Three of Pentacles reversed. And I think it's time to put away this deck. We need to get clarity from another deck. But I did that mindlessly for a reason. That's that spirit like having me on autopilot. So the High Priestess and the Three of Pentacles is reversed. Upright, this is all about like self-worth. This person is worth a whole, excuse me, I still have a bit of the hiccups. This person is worth a whole lot to these people approaching him. They see him as someone valuable that can help them, and excuse me, they're working together towards a common goal. It's like they're approaching him for a project. So this is all about this person's worth and the esteem that other people have for him. But upside down, it's like that esteem that's not realized. And that spirit is saying, you're forgetting who you are. And and that often does happen when you've got toxic people in your life that are chipping away at that self esteem, right? So being in hermit mode and working with your spirit guides will regenerate that self esteem. Okay? So okay, here we go. We've got the devil reversed. Reversed? It is reversed. Okay. So this is just echoing just about what I just said about toxic people in your life. It was very toxic. King of, King of Cups reversed. This is also reversed. A heartless person. This is a person you may have even been dealing with. This right here points to like narcissism and sociopathy. This is a person in your life who, and what I'm about to tell you, I hope, is going to bring you out of this here. You need to change your perspective on this person that hurt you because you're spinning your wheels and why did they treat me that way? Why did they say this? Why are they so mean or toxic or whatever? Because there is something severely broken in this person. They are heartless, they have no feelings, and they are toxic. probably something that's happened in childhood. So this is what I do when I'm in situations like this because I am an empath and empaths are notorious for attracting narcissists. And boy, have I had them since I was a child in my life. So I'm very well versed in their behavior and the experience, right? So, and there was one incident in particular, very, very poignant in my life. And I'll never forget the moment where I was just about to ask the person why they hated me so much. And I stopped. I was like, why do you hate me? Oh, and there was a moment where I realized, oh, I see, they don't hate me. They hate themselves. And it was something in their eyes when I was looking at them that alerted me to that. I was like, this has nothing to do with me. This is all about them. I really, truly, with complete clarity, saw their own toxicity, right? And it was almost like the distance between us suddenly accelerated. Like they like moved in space farther and farther away from me. Like, wow, this has nothing to do with me. This is all about them. Okay, so this is what I'm taught. Oh, and the other thing is that I had this whole thing, and this was like in a matter of seconds that I saw this person as a child, right? So in situations like this, when I come across sociopaths and severe narcissists, I suddenly see them as children. And it's impossible to feel this way about, well, you could be sad for them for sure, but this is more about being sad for oneself, right? So what I'm saying is if you envision them as a child, things suddenly change. Like you can no longer be angry at them. You can no longer blame them, judge them, because you can't do any of those things with a child. Right? So try doing that because I'm telling you, that's what you're dealing with here. That they are not capable of loving you, giving you what you need because they can't give it to themselves. It's very sad for this person, but they're severely affected. And some people, I honestly believe some of these people are born this way too. Like they're born with some kind of defect in their brains, and that's I remember seeing a thing a while ago about that. Like they've done brain scans on some of these sociopaths, and I don't think they've come to the full conclusion that they've been born with it, but their brains are certainly different, right? So anyway, I'm rambling. But I'm just trying to emphasize the fact that it's not you. It has nothing to do with you. You did not deserve this. You didn't do anything wrong. You're dealing with pathology here. This is ours, yes. And like this too, yeah. And this in the center. Okay. So, Two of Cups, right? And this is right next to this line here of emotional fulfillment. Some of you have found this new person. Others of you, and you know it's them. Others of you might have just met them and you're like, wow, is this the person? Spirit is saying no. Most of you know who it is already. Any of the people haven't met them at all. Yeah. Okay. So it's one thing or the other. There's no in between. There are some of you who haven't met them and they're coming, and others of you who are like in up to your eyeballs in, being smitten with them and being in love. I'm so happy. You finally found someone who treats you the way you deserve to be treated. That's beautiful. Page of Wands. This is you moving on and building a new life for yourself. You know, you may have the, excuse me, you may have the Five of Cups here, but you are certainly not wallowing and not allowing this to get in the way of the progress in your life, which I like to see. Oh, look at the High Priestess. Reversed? It is reversed. Okay. So, do we have one more card coming? Okay. Was that our card that just fell out? Yes. Okay. Okay. So, the High Priestess reversed here is just simply saying, I don't, spirit. I heard like a really old man in my head, like, you gotta call your mother. You never call your mother. This is spirit complaining that you're not engaging with them enough. That spirit wants to help you. And then the next card that came out was the Nine of Wands. And it happened like rapidly, like it fell out of my hands while I was talking about this. It's like, yes, things are bittersweet. You're moving into a new chapter in your life, but your old chapter is kind of still there. And there's a warning here not to let that cloud taint your new life. Um, things are moving in a positive direction, but there's an inner struggle that you have pretty much here that you need to close out. And Spirit is like, we're waiting here to help you do that. Okay. Do we have any more tarot coming? No. Advice cards. Okay, let's see. Tie yourself? Okay, so you have one higher self coming. Okay. What do we got? So, okay. There it is. I was just about to say, what do we got, Spirit? And it's like, all right, don't rush me. Here it is. This one here? No, no. What do we got here? Expect the unexpected. Ooh. Uh, Taurus, you're moving towards really fun things. And I'm happy for you because you've been through it. The only advice is work on letting this toxicity go so that you can fully enjoy the surprises that life has in store for you. Okay, Taurus? So I'm looking forward to hearing from you in the comment section. I answer every single one. And your comments will generate bonuses in other readings. Um, Oftentimes, if something interesting comes along, I'll do a whole bonus. But I'll also, if it's something more specific, I'll answer you on the spot. So, looking forward to hearing from you there. Don't forget to like and subscribe. I'm trying to get to 1,000 subs. Every subscription means the world to me. So I thank you in advance. I will speak to you soon. Love, light, and many blessings.